I'm Hamed Aleaziz. I'm a reporter for the Los Angeles Times. I cover immigration policy for the Times. I would say reporting in general, when I was a young kid, an Oregonian reporter in the late 1990s wrote a story about my family. My father at the time he immigrated from Iran to the United States to study here. And in the late 1990s, his visa had expired and the government had ordered him to leave the country. The issue was that my older brother, who was severely disabled, was in a specialized care home at a young age. He was unable to leave that facility, and because of that, this type of deportation would have led to my family being separated. My father, my mother, me, and my younger brother, who were both born in the United States, going back to Iran, while my older brother stayed in America. This was something that the Oregonian felt like they needed to cover, and this reporter, Katie Muldoon, wrote a incredible feature for the newspaper. And because of that feature, advocates and community supporters came to back our family, and politicians as well. And later on, my family was able to get an attorney and win their case in immigration court. And now they have U.S. citizenship. So I saw from a young age the impact, the power of journalism, and I always carry that with me. Maria, she was a cancer nurse in Oakland, who had come to the U.S. In the 1990s. She had been ordered deported, but the Obama administration decided Maria wasn't a priority of theirs, meaning they weren't going to target her for arrest and deportation. She was told to check in with the office regularly and maintain her life in America, where she had a home in Oakland and multiple children and a husband. When Donald Trump became president, ICE changed the way they approached immigration enforcement in the United States. Nearly every undocumented immigrant became a target for potential arrest or deportation. This meant that Maria was told she needed to go back to Mexico. She needed to be deported. I tracked Maria's story from the beginning moments, documenting her family's struggle. They had decided that Maria would go to Mexico with her husband while her children would remain in Oakland. This was a very traumatic event for the family, and our story led to an outcry from the community and supporters of Maria, including her fellow colleagues at the hospital. Politicians like Senator Dianne Feinstein got involved as well. This outcry of support for Maria ultimately did not prevent her deportation. She was deported to Mexico, and I was there the night she was deported at the airport when she boarded her flight back to Mexico City. I saw her family gathering together and crying and praying together for the difficult moments ahead. Later on, my colleague and I, an incredible photographer, went to Mexico and spent some time with Maria. We documented her life there, the challenge of being separated from her children and being a parent from abroad, as well as documenting the life of the children in Oakland. So we wrote a story, in essence, about what it was like to be a family separated between Oakland and Mexico. Later on, about a year later, a little over a year later, Maria was able to get a visa to return back to America, where she reunited with her family and went back to work at her hospital as a cancer nurse. So, I saw the full scope of this immigration system and the challenges it can present. Yeah, in those moments I remind myself that my obligation is to the story and to bring readers into the moment that I'm witnessing, to allow them to experience what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing and feeling. It's incredibly important for readers to experience that, to understand, the scope of whatever scene you're covering. And I feel like over the years, I've had a lot of experience going to crime scenes and disaster scenes and other, traumatic events. And that's really taught me through practice how to remain focused, compartmentalize, and focus on the story itself, while at the same time maintaining empathy and integrity while I do my interviewing with people who've undergone tragedy. Ultimately, though, when your stories are completed and deadline has passed, you are left to process those traumatic events. And I think that's a matter of me trying to process it with my friends and family, talking to them about what I've seen, and also maintaining separation from work with my children, focusing on my children and being able to go for runs and enjoy my time outside of work is incredibly important for my mental well-being, and ultimately allows me to do my work even better in a longer term. I feel like the purpose of journalism, the purpose of the work that we do, is try to hold the powerful accountable and to uncover information that the public did not know before, and to document this as compellingly, accurately, and fairly as possible. It's incredibly important for reporters to continue to uncover truths, wrongdoings, potential wrongdoings, and to describe the world that we're living in, and to really bring people into complicated policy stories through the lens of human beings who are often forced to deal with the effects of policy changes. It's the challenge of uncovering truths that we didn't know about, and the challenge of telling the stories of complicated policies through people drives me every day, because I find it incredibly important. Don't let anybody deter you from your path. Don't let anybody tell you that the industry is too hard to break into. If it's something that you honestly feel like is your calling, your dream, you want to pursue it, then pursue it. And the most important thing I would say if you're in college is to gain experience, to do internships at local newspapers and other media organizations, to work for campus media, to try to gain as much experience as possible, because through that you learn not only how to do the job, but what aspects of the job that you really love. And when you start out your young career, know that there's going to be many challenges. There's going to be many, days where you feel really beaten down, but to continue going, because if it's your dream, ultimately you will succeed if you continue pushing yourself, challenging yourself, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, going wherever the story or the job is that you need to do, and putting yourself out there. You'll make it happen. To take advantage of the journalism school and the professors and the adjunct faculty that's here, and the people that they know that have connections in this industry. Really take advantage of that, because it'll put you in a better place when you graduate. I think that when I was in the J school, I didn't take as much advantage of that, and I feel like there are so many talented professors and faculty members here that can really help students who are trying to pursue journalism in one form or another, to really be aware of that, and to go beyond just obviously attending classes and trying to do well in class, but trying to maintain those connections with the people here who have deep knowledge and experience in this field. It feels like this field is changing every year, every moment. I think the thing that I'm looking forward to, and I think maybe hoping for, is you know, figuring out a way to draw in more news consumers, to widen the audience of major publications and others, to kind of maintain a level of stability in this industry that has undergone a lot of changes. I think that there's been more of a focus recently on making sure our industry is financially stable and able to continue. And you find leaders looking for really innovative ways to attract all kinds of readers to publications.